Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Y'all know when you see a title like that, they don't piss me off on the internet. I got something to say, so let's go. Okay, so I want to say it's probably been like 2 weeks since this conversation started, but this woman gets on TikTok and she makes a video where she basically says that y'all love to pick the ugliest dark-skinned black women and hype them up when they're really not pretty, and there are plenty of other black women out there that you could be hyping up, right? Basically, people are giving them like sympathy, hype, pity, hype, trying to make them feel better because they know that they're not really that pretty, but those are the women that people choose to hype up to make them feel better about themselves because they're ugly or because they're dark skinned or because of both, etc., etc., right? Off rip loser conversation. You're a loser for, first of all, for that even being something that you want to focus on, but taking it a step further and making a video about it. Like, you said the loser out loud. You wanted to let the rest of us know that you're a loser, right? And I've been seeing conversations like this kind of, I don't think I talked about it here on YouTube, but there was a girl, she made a video talking about I asked my boyfriend who was prettier, Alondria or Clark, and he said Clark because Alondria has too masculine features. And yeah, I agree. Alondria, she has really masculine features. There's not anything that's feminine about how she looks. And if you've seen both of these videos and you've seen what the two look like, Shanygne, I'm so sorry. Someone had to say, I want my spot in heaven. All I'm gonna say is the pretty girls aren't doing that. The pretty girls are not policing the compliments that other women get. The pretty girls are not policing who can be deemed attractive, who cannot. You know why? Because they are basking in the compliments that they get. They don't care that A, B, and C are also being called pretty because they get called pretty every day. They get to live off of their looks every single day. And I had made a TikTok talking about it, and I'm so sorry. People who make videos like that, I feel like deep down inside, you've come to terms with the fact that it'll never be you. It'll never be you where you can just post a picture or post a video and you get all this engagement, all this love, all these comments just off of your looks, right? I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was last year, there was some girl, she got like 1 billion views or maybe likes on her video, and it's literally just her like singing along, but she's very pretty. It'll never be you. You can't post a picture, a video, or nothing like that on social media and people just come flocking to you, get all these followers, stuff like that, blah, 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 because you're pretty. In real life, it'll never be you. You're walking down the street and you're so pretty. You're so, thank you. That will never be your experience. So because you can't get attention that way and you want attention, you resort to stuff like this. You resort to rage bait because that's the only way people are going to interact with your content on social media. Those will be the girls who are really nasty in real life for no reason because it's going to get you a reaction. It might not get you a nice reaction, right? Most people would want nice interactions with humans in real life. They want pleasant conversation. But when you're not going to get that off of looks and y'all don't be having personalities, you're not funny on social media, you're not teaching anyone anything, right? You can't teach anyone how to paint. You can't do your own makeup. No one's coming to you for fashion advice. You have to resort to that type of rage to get people to want to interact with you. Because what? So that's how the conversation starts. But then y'all further piss me off because I see a video come up on my For You page and it's a girl who is basically like piggybacking off of that video. And she's like, yeah, you know, I understand what she was trying to say in that video and the point that she was trying to get across. And that second girl goes on to say in her video that, you know, the people in power, in the industry, in the entertainment industry, the people who get to determine who's going to be famous and who's going to get all this attention, they intentionally pick black women who look a certain way because they are trying to portray a certain look when it comes to how black women are supposed to look. That's what she's saying in her video, right? And she is going along with the whole Lupita thing. She's like, yeah, Lupita is pretty, but they're never going to pick the baddest of baddest black women to be a representation of black women. And just if you're still a little confused, because I also go through comments and stuff like that in the comments, but what she's basically suggesting is that the people in power, the people in charge who are not, they intentionally choose black women who are not as attractive. They're not the baddest representation because they are trying to get everyone else to believe that black women are not attractive and there are no gorgeous, stunning looking black women. Babes, I want you to listen to what you just said. If anything, they are doing the exact opposite. They are only allowing the exceptionally beautiful brown skin, dark skin women to succeed. The ones who most align with European beauty standards, and we're talking about the people in charge who are not, but even the ones who are, because fall in line. And that's why this conversation is funny, because y'all are talking about some, oh, it's sympathy, it's pity, and that's why y'all are hyping up these dark-skinned women who are not pretty. When, babes, you literally have to be exceptionally pretty to get the hype of a what's that, Scarlett Johansson, right? I don't know who was a Blake Lively, Reese Witherspoon. You have to be the best of the best looking dark-skinned black woman to even be put in the same conversation as some pretty average looking non-black women when it comes to the industry and the entertainment world. So that, like, y'all are talking out of both ends. Cause what? Look at the black women that are used as representation when it comes to being the face of, acting, the face of music, the face of this, that, and the third. Baby, they all have a lot in common, right? And that's why this is very funny to me, because when you think about it, think of conversations that revolve around attractive celebrities, right? Think of like a list that you've seen or stuff like that when it comes to who some of the, actually, let's look it up. Okay, fire up Google here. Celebrities, beautiful black women: Naomi Campbell, Janet Jackson, Vanessa Williams, Kelly Rowland, Tyra Banks, Ciara, Gabrielle Union. Let's see. AI's answer: many beautiful black women in the entertainment industry are celebrated for their talent and looks. Some popular choices include Halle Berry, Gabrielle Union, Kerry Washington, Beyonce, and Rihanna. Other actresses like Angela Bassett, Nia Long, Taraji P. Henson, and Megan Good are also frequently cited. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's see here. Hottest black celebrities: Rihanna, Zendaya, Beyonce, Ciara, Halle Berry, Megan Good, Lauren London, Zoe Kravitz, Rosario Dawson, Zoe Saldana. Okay. The sexiest 90s black female bombshells: Sanaya Lathan, Nia Long, Regina King, Regina Hall, Khalees, Tracee Ellis Ross, Jill Marie Jones, Kenya Moore. Okay. 95 most beautiful black celebrity women ranked. First, Jessica Lucas, Gabrielle Union, Halle Berry, Megan Good, Paula Patton, Ciara, Lauren London, Zoe Saldana, KD Aubert, Tatiana Ali. Most attractive black women in your opinion: my personal top 4 are Yaya DaCosta, Asia Naomi King, Naomi Campbell, Danielle Deadweiler. Someone said Kelly Rowland, Halle Berry, Lauren London, Janae Aiko. First of all, so those faces, those are ones the people in charge are using to try to convince other people that black women are not attractive. Because those are literally the women that y'all be trying to look like. Those are the women. You want the hair care routine, you want the skincare routine, you want the this, that, and the third. If they post makeup look that looks like this, their makeup looks are the ones going viral, because that's who y'all are trying to look like. So the industry are pushing those women to try to get the idea across that black women are not attractive. And then you see how those women came up often in those lists, right? Y'all heard me say Kelly Rowland a lot. You heard me say Halle Berry a lot. You heard me say Gabrielle Union, Lauren London a lot. I don't even think I said Lupita's name just now. I scrolled a lot. I went through a lot of different lists, and I don't think any of them even mentioned Lupita's name. So if you feel like she is not beautiful to you and she should not be representation of beautiful black women, why can't you just go enjoy all of the other representations of beautiful black women that there are, especially if you're sticking on the whole dark skin thing. I said Naomi's name a couple times. I said Kelly Rowland's name a couple times. There were dark skin celebrity black women whose names I said several times. Why can't you just continue to go hype them up and be happy that they are representation, clearly, that are well-known representations of beautiful Black women. Why can't Lupita's name also be included in the conversation? Because as we can see, it's not like people hype up Lupita as a beautiful Black woman and they say that she is the only attractive Black woman out there. Others exist. So why can't she also be included in the conversation? Because y'all are colorists, because y'all are texturist, because y'all are featurist, because y'all are fat phobic. All the isms, all the obias, all of that is because of that. And I don't know if you guys remember the whole, and I love when like things tie into each other. Y'all remember the statue in New York City and how that caused this conversation? And honestly, I'll actually address that later. But y'all remember how it was just like that statue it's disrespectful and it's making us look bad as Black women and they're trying to make a mockery of us and that could never be representation of what Black women look like. And y'all remember that statue was not a one-off. There were other statues in the collection. So if you didn't find your representation with that one statue, go find your representation in one of the other ones. Why can't that statue be included as well? And in that case, that was the fat phobia and also colorism, right? But all of that, all of the isms combined is why. Like if you notice, the women who I was naming off on those lists, they have things in common, even though, you know, they might range a little bit between light skin, medium, dark skin, stuff like that. For the most part, most of them are pretty skinny. You know, there have been questions about nose jobs amongst some of those people, but they don't have, you know, the biggest lips, the biggest noses. My bad, my camera overheated, but they don't really have the Black features that get made fun of the most for having them, right? And there's no shade. Got a quick weave in right now. Y'all know I wear a wig, stuff like that. But they're the women who are, you know, a little more known for wearing wigs, or, you know, their hair is going to be straight and it's going to usually be longer, stuff like that. Because y'all don't even mention like a Brandy in conversations like this, right? Brandy is gorgeous. She's on the deeper, well, not deeper, but y'all know what I mean. She's on that end of the spectrum when it comes to skin tone. She is aging beautifully, but Brandy was, especially like back in the day, more so known for braids. So if it's, you know, beautiful girl but braids, no, y'all not gonna include her in conversations like that as well. The same reason why Lizzo is left out of conversations on, you know, and shown as representation for beautiful Black women, because baby face card has always been there. It's always been there for Lizzo. It's a conversation for another day on how now that she has lost some weight, people are like, oh my God, Lizzo, she is so pretty. She was always pretty. She was always, you didn't like her body. That was that fat phobia that had you acting like she was ugly, because face was always given. You see how they all kind of fit into the same boxes, and all those boxes are a little more aligned with European beauty standards. So I find it very funny for you to be trying to make sense of Old Girl's original video talking about the people in power are picking people who purposely, you know, will not be deemed as attractive, stuff like that, blah, 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 because the people in power are putting Black people in power who align more with those standards. And y'all are literally sitting here and saying that, you know, this person who does get a little hype, who does get a little attention, shouldn't be, because you are against the standards that are not European beauty standards. You don't find that attractive. And that'll always be funny to me, because when it comes time to call out non-Black demographics, non-Black woman demographics, everyone, all the smoke, all the talking points, all the think pieces, all the this, that, and the third, but especially lately with the statue, the Love Island, Alondria, this with Lupita, y'all within your own community. That's also why it was confusing to me why you're even bringing up those standards, because it wasn't any of those people who are having these conversations. Y'all are having these conversations amongst yourself, and y'all are trying to make this stuff make sense amongst yourself. It's not enough just to spot white supremacy when you see it. It's not enough just to spot European beauty standards when you see it. If you uphold it, you can go ahead and have a seat trying to have these conversations that y'all be trying to have, because what's the point? What's the point if you can clock everybody else but yourself? Do you know how much you are one of the ones that Harriet would have left behind? And that's the nicest way that I can say it, because I gotta watch how I say it. But do you know how much of that you have to be that you hate that women like that are included, because at no point has anyone ever said, oh, Lupita, Alondria, that statue, they are the only representations of beautiful black women. Every beautiful black woman has to look like that, or she's not pretty. At no point has anyone ever said anything like that. Again, colorist, texturist, featurist, fat phobia, so much that it bothers you that they're even included in the conversation. Because like I said, if it was about representation, if you wanted to see you, right, relatability, that'll be a video for another day. Because not today. You need to relate so bad to what you're seeing. I can give you plenty of examples. Whatever it is that you think is the beauty standard, you think is someone that you can relate to, I can give you 50 examples that you can go look at if you wanted representation, if you wanted someone who looks like you. So you could go be happy over there, right? If you don't find it, if you don't like it over here, stay over there. But nah, it bothers you so much. And like I pointed out in the video about the statue, when you think that something or someone is so beneath you, it bothers you that other people don't think that way as well. And like I just said about I could go find you plenty of examples for what you do think is the standard or what you do want to be representation for you. The girl who started all of this, if you're wondering like, oh, well, if she doesn't want, Lupita getting the hype, who should be? They were in the comments talking about Bernice Burgos, Des Dior, Jada Wada, like y'all. So in the second video, trying to further prove her point that, the people in charge will try to make dark-skinned black women look masculine, and they'll try to, dull down their beauty if they are pretty while they hype up, the Lupitas, because they're trying to push a certain narrative, a certain look. She brings up Notori from 3LW and Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child and how, they were the dark skin in their respective girl groups, and points out, first of all, says they know what they're doing with who they push and stuff like that, and like nobody would have wanted to be the Notori or the Kelly in the group. And she is younger in the video, and that's why like sometimes you also, like, if you weren't there, if you didn't experience, simmer down. It's like when people say stuff like, oh, Kitty Cat is so underrated from Beyonce. Is it underrated, or you just weren't born yet in 2005? Because underrated to who? So same thing, talking about no one wanted to be the Kelly Rowland. No one. What? To this day, there are people who literally will choose Kelly Rowland before they choose Beyonce. And as a dark-skinned girly myself, baby, I wanted to be the Kelly Rowland. And y'all know I love me some Beyonce, but I wanted to be the Kelly Rowland. I've done like makeup recreation, stuff like that. And it was Kelly Rowland. Now y'all be telling every dark-skinned girl that she looks like every dark-skinned woman out there. So I have gotten you look like Kelly Rowland. It also depends on like the outfit, the hairstyle, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. But that is, baby, when I tell you Kelly Rowland has a special place in my heart. So again, have a seat. If you weren't there, you didn't experience it. Same thing with 3LW, baby. I promise you, everyone didn't want to be Adrian. Okay, y'all, it is probably about to start like pouring rain, because that is why the lighting keeps going in and out, because the sun keeps coming out, then it keeps going away. But I actually think Kelly Rowland's beauty overshadows Kelly Rowland's talent. I feel most of the time when you see people talking about Kelly Rowland, they're talking about how beautiful she is, how beautifully she's aging. You're gonna see her on lists like that, listing out beautiful black women. But she doesn't get as much talk when it comes to her talent, that she can really sing. All of the Destiny's Child members can really sing. But I feel like she gets overshadowed in that sense. So I just find it funny that you're trying to act like someone's light was dimmed when it comes to their beauty, when their beauty is one of the biggest things people talk about when they talk about her, right? And to say the whole, oh, why was it the dark-skinned girls in the group who had to have the 27 piece? Why did they have to have the short hair? And again, it's like if you weren't there, maybe don't speak about it type thing, because was a 27 piece a pixie, short hair, a bob? Was that not the style at the time for everybody? Halle Berry is literally known for the pixie. She is known for the short hair. Nia Long, known for the short hair. And you see how to this day, all three of those women, Halle Berry, Nia Long, Kelly Rowland, you see them in short hair a lot. So what if, and I think Notori too, what if Kelly just likes the short hair? Why, if that's why they put her in it, right? People were trying to say, oh, why they were always going to show Kelly's abs, they were going to show Beyonce's legs. Why did Michelle always have to have long pants on? And Michelle Williams said, I liked wearing the long pants. I didn't like, the more so revealing costume things. So, you don't have to make everything a thing. Sometimes the person just wanted to look that way. Maybe Kelly just liked the 27 piece. But I find it funny that you're using the 27 piece as something that made Naturi and Kelly look masculine, because what would you have preferred their hair look like? Would you have preferred it be long? Why would you have preferred it be long? Why is short hair masculine on a deeper complexion like Kelly, but Halle Berry can be known for the pixie? And you know who else was known for the pixie for a good minute and had everyone else wanting to do it? Why is she not brought up in conversations like that? So that's what I'm saying. If you are going to continue to perpetuate certain type of stereotypes, certain standards, you can't point the finger at anyone else. And that leads me to my last thing. Like I said, you see how Halle Berry could wear the pixie, Nia Long could wear the pixie, but you know, Kelly, if she wants to wear a pixie, now it's a problem. And keeping the conversation amongst the Black community. Biracial Black women, light-skinned Black women, the Zendayas, Lotto, Beyonce, Rihanna, Tyla's, Mariah the Scientist, Lauren London's, there could be 50 of them. In each category, right? There can be plenty of them. All of them are allowed to exist. All of them are allowed to succeed, right? There is literally a running joke that there is a factory out there that is producing Mariah the Scientist lookalike, because we've seen so many. I've seen a lot of Zendaya lookalikes as well. But if all of those lookalikes decided that they wanted to be actresses, they wanted to be musicians, they wanted to be influencers, all of them would be allowed to exist and all of them would be allowed to succeed, and they could dress the same, they could talk the same, they could look the same hairstyles, same everything, and that's fine. But once you start getting towards the end of that spectrum, there can only be one. There can only be one dark skin, right? Which is why Lupita can't be included in the conversation of attractive looking Black women, even though all the other ones exist. That's the one that you're gonna have a problem with. So there can only be one, and that one has to fill out all these boxes before they're allowed to exist, right? Nose gotta look a certain way, hair gotta look a certain way, skin tone gotta look a certain way, she gotta dress a certain way, she has to perform a certain way, she has all of these things before you will allow yourself to support her, and you probably still won't support her then either. And you know why? I'm gonna say it again. All those isms. It was a conversation a couple weeks ago, but Jay Versace had said something about, like, you know, how all of the dark skin models have the same look, the same vibe, stuff like that. And, you know, especially like the deeper models, I feel like a lot of them are Sudanese. You know, maybe that's where they scalp a little bit more for that. And it's kind of the same thing of there can only be one, because other Black models exist. They're there. Literally go find them. And don't even get me started on the whole trying to downplay the Sudanese models by saying that they're being picked, they're being booked, even though they are very much so on the deeper end of the spectrum when it comes to deep skin, because they have features that are Eurocentric features. Words mean things. You're trying to gaslight us and act like, oh, this is a genuine conversation on how, you know, those are the only looks that are being picked, and does anyone question why that's the look that they go for, da 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 da. Is it the only look that exists? Because Winnie Harlow, Joan Smalls, Jordan Dunn, Jasmine Tookes, Chanel Iman, and mind you, those are like Black women. They have varying backgrounds of where they're from, right? Ethnicities, stuff like that. And Tyra, Naomi, they're still working. Other Black models exist, and if you know, go under the whole like high fashion models, stuff like that, the regular commercial models, the models that you'll see on Victoria's Secret or, I don't know, Walmart, stuff like that, other models exist. There are a plethora of looks when it comes to models in the fashion industry, and also other demographics. Baby, there's a what's her name? Cara Delvine. Y'all know who I'm talking about. There's that type of look for that demographic of models where they will want to scout models who look like that. The Bella Hadid look, there's that type of look in the industry where they will want to scout models who look like that. But modeling in general, there's a look that they're going for, right? So like I said, other Black models exist. Why did you feel the need to call attention to that specific group getting attention? And it's not even like you're calling out the fact that there are not more, you know, like plus size black models or just plus size models in general, right? No. You don't want to call out the industry for what they're leaving out. You want to call out the industry for certain groups that they choose to include. And I'm gonna say it, I feel like there is this idea on the internet that, you know, it's 2025 now and we're just so progressive and we just know so much better about, you know, anti-blackness and colorism and racism and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's the time that we're living in right now that has everyone regressing. And my thing is, maybe people didn't actually progress to begin with. Maybe people didn't actually progress like they thought they did. You know, the conversations that we're having right now about skin tone, about hair in the black community, about features, it's giving these are just conversations online. Like, it's just good talking points online to make it seem like you're progressive, to make it seem like you're just so pro-black, you're just so this, that, and the third. Because, and especially lately, I don't know what's in the water, but baby, it's starting to sound like Klan meetings. And it's embarrassing. Do better. All right, y'all, so that is it for this video. I feel like this might be a long one. My camera has overheated like 5 times because that's how much talking I've been doing. But as you can tell, like certain situations like that, that's my sign, it's time to stop talking. But as you can tell, like certain conversations, certain things, it really irritates me because, again, it shouldn't be coming from within the community. Like, there's enough being thrown against us outside. And you would think in 2025 that people would know better, people would do better. And I'm not sure if people know better and or want to do better at this point. And that's why I'm talking. And that's why I have so much to say, right? So we can dead the idea before anyone even tries it in the comment section, like, because I am dark skinned, that is why I'm so bothered. That's why I'm so pressed. Before you try to make it a, oh, well, I just don't like lighter complexion, stuff like that. Baby, like I said, when you're pretty, you don't care about none of that shit. Pretty is pretty when you're pretty. And you uplift any, well, not just because they're pretty, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, it never gave that over here. For every attractive woman of one skin tone, I can give you one of a different skin tone across the board. So let's not even try me when it comes to that, okay? I don't like ignorance. And I told you, I'm just at that age, I don't have patience for stupid anymore. I really don't. It's very, 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 I just can't actually tolerate it at all nowadays. And the fact that, like, this is what y'all want to fight for, this is what you're advocating for, this is what you're fighting against each other for, with everything that's going on in the world right now, you think, let's take away spotlight from other black people. Let's take away support from other black people. That's the conclusion that you came to. Like I said, stupid, and I just don't have the patience for it. So that is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.